Our Son, a Star's story, the Sun, a blazing ball of fire in the sky. This massive sphere of hot plasma is the heart of our solar system. It's the reason we exist. Without the Sun, Earth would be a frozen, lifeless rock floating in space. All life on Earth owes its existence to this star. Plants use sunlight to create food through photosynthesis, forming the base of our food chain. But even stars don't live forever. They go through life cycles, just like living organisms. What happens when our sun begins to die? It will expand into a red giant engulfing the inner planets, including possibly Earth. The sun is like a giant nuclear reactor. Deep within its core, nuclear reactions are constantly taking place. It's constantly fusing hydrogen into helium in its core. This process is known as nuclear fusion. This fusion process releases tremendous energy. The energy travels from the core to the surface and then radiates out into space. The heat and light from these reactions are what we feel here on Earth. They warm our planet and provide the energy needed for life. But this process can't last forever. Eventually, the sun will run out of hydrogen fuel, leading to the end stages of its life. The life and times of a star. Stars are the brilliant beacons of the universe, lighting up the cosmos with their radiant glow. Stars like our sun have a life cycle that spans billions of years. From their fiery birth in stellar nurseries to their eventual demise, each stage is a fascinating chapter in the cosmic story. They are born in vast clouds of gas and dust known as nebulae. These stellar nurseries are the cradles of star formation, where gravity pulls the material together to form a new star. Our sun is currently in its main sequence phase, a period of stability where it has been for about 4.6 billion years. This is the longest part of a star's life, where it spends the majority of its existence. During this time, the sun shines steadily, providing the energy that sustains life on Earth. During this phase, the sun is stable and fusing hydrogen at a steady rate in its core, converting it into helium through nuclear fusion. This process releases an immense amount of energy, which we see as sunlight. But in about 5 billion years, things will start to change dramatically. The sun will enter the final stages of its life cycle. The sun will begin to run out of hydrogen fuel in its core, causing it to expand into a red giant. This phase will mark the beginning of the end for our star. This is where the story gets interesting. The sun's outer layers will be ejected into space, creating a beautiful planetary nebula, while the core will shrink into a white dwarf, a dense remnant of its former self. The beginning of the end. As the sun's core runs low on hydrogen, it will start to contract. This contraction will heat up the core even more. The outer layers of the sun will expand, becoming cooler and turning red. The sun will transform into a red giant star. This expansion will be bad news for the inner planets. Mercury and Venus will be completely engulfed by the expanding sun. Earth's fate is less certain, but it won't be pretty. Section 4. Earth's fate. As the sun expands, its intense heat will boil away Earth's oceans. The surface of our planet will be scorched. Life, as we know it, will be impossible. The once vibrant blue planet will become a barren wasteland. But even though our planet may not survive, the death of the sun isn't the end of the story. Section 5. A new kind of star. After its red giant phase, the sun will go through a series of dramatic changes. It will shed its outer layers into space, creating a beautiful cosmic cloud called a planetary nebula. At the center of this nebula, a new kind of star will be born, a white dwarf. White dwarfs are incredibly dense. They are about the size of Earth, but contain as much mass as the sun. They slowly cool down over billions of years. Section 6. The never-ending story. In the vast expanse of the universe, stories unfold that are beyond our wildest imaginations. The death of our sun may seem like the end, a final curtain call in the grand theater of the cosmos, but it's really just a new beginning. The end of one chapter marks the start of another. As the universe is in a constant state of flux and renewal, the material ejected into space during the sun's death will eventually become part of new stars and planets. This stellar material, rich with elements, will seed the birth of new celestial bodies. The cycle of stellar life and death will continue. Stars are born, they live, and they die, only to give rise to new stars in an endless cosmic dance. So, while the sun's death will mean the end for our planet, a dramatic and inevitable conclusion to our solar system's story, It will also contribute to the birth of new worlds, new possibilities, and maybe even new life in the vast expanse of the cosmos. These new worlds will carry the legacy of our sun, continuing the cycle of creation and destruction. The universe is full of mysteries, each star and planet a chapter in an ever-expanding story. And the story of the stars is far from over. As long as there are stars to be born and die, the narrative of the cosmos will continue, an eternal tale of light, darkness, and rebirth.